Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a kaleidoscope program, and we've got it to the point where it can take a picture, a still picture from your photo library or a live video feed and make a kaleidoscope image out of it, at least a one layer one, simulating a bunch of mirrors. And we'd like to add a feature to let you capture images. So you say, "Ooh, that's very cool looking," and tap something and collect the image and carry on. All right, we've found some information about doing it, and well, basically we have to convert a Swift UI view to an image, and then we got to figure out where to put it. Convert our rotated view display, yeah, and then a button to take a picture. I'd like a little audible click when the picture's taken, and then I'd like to see it go whoosh and just sort of slide into the corner with an animation. We'll see. Alrighty, let's see. So I guess let's go back to this one. All right, so the great Hacking with Swift site. All right, so he points out there's an image renderer, which we found mentioned a couple other times too. But if you give it a Swift UI view in its content, it will produce an image that you can manipulate. You can get the PNG data or JPEG data or whatever. Okay, so you got to do a little work because otherwise you get the wrong scale. So he's got an example down here. Let's see. All right, yeah, so he's got a render function that calls image renderer with the view, which is a little struct up here, and then he adjusts the scale and then captures the image. I guess, yeah, so well, wait a minute. Oh yeah, so we pulled the UIImage out of the renderer and make a real image out of that. I don't know if we need to go that far because we want to just stick the data in a file and put it in our photo library, hopefully. All right, but what my takeaway is, if we're going to display it, so notice what he's doing is he's setting, I don't know, is that going to create problems for us? He's setting this to be an image. Oh, that's really going to be kind of weird. I don't know. This may be a little twisted. I mean, the core thing is the view he wants to show is in this image renderer. And that gets called on appear, and then when the text changes, in our case, the angle changes. Or the rotation. Okay, and he pulls that display scale. That's good. All right. Wow. So, I mean, one thing that's going on is this is coming in as nothing first. So he's showing all that content as an image, but I don't know if does that preclude it from working? I mean, interacting? We'll have to see. Okay, so I don't know. This is I think we're going to roll this into an experiment view and feel our way through it. But what it seems to be implying is this main view we have, we're going to have to pull that into a sub view of some sort. Well, maybe this is the view. I mean, it's really this. Oh, this camera view. Let's start with photo. Okay, yeah, photo has the rotated view is kind of the one that's the focus. Okay. Well, I'm going to copy this. Yeah, I'm going to make this put this over in our experiment area. So we've got photo kaleidoscope. All right, this. We'll copy this. And then let's make a new file. Whoops. Photo kaleidoscope 2.swift. Okay. And this. Okay. And let's show this in our view over here. Photo kaleidoscope. Well, I probably didn't need the whole thing. We'll just show photo kaleidoscope 2, I guess. Experiment view. Well, I think we can just make this. We don't need that. Let's just make it bar body of some view, and we'll just show photo kaleidoscope 2. Oh, we need some stuff though, huh? No, we don't need to do those. Okay, good. Like so. And let's take care of the extra declaration. We don't need any of this stuff. Well, we need Swift UI. Okay, and then let's just make sure this runs. Grab the current JPEG, separate the static kaleidoscope using that image. Yeah, that's... Yeah, we still have to copy JPEG data. Oh, let me get my pad. I mean, I suppose we can attach the interaction to the outer layer if we need to. Oh, it's going to try. Okay, good. Where is it? Can't tell if it's just starting slow. Yeah, I think that's the suggestion in that Hacking with Swift site. So we're basically going to render the view and then display the snapshot. I don't know. We're copying JPEG data. Yeah, because we're going to have to. Well, we don't have to actually copy the data until they take a picture. So it's a little weird that way. Something's not starting up here. Try again. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we should have an experiment view that looks like our kaleidoscope view. I noticed it had some junk at the top, so we'll probably take care of that too. Okay, experiment view, no image selected. Let's select one. Do this one for variety. Okay, and that's showing on our experiment tab. So, I don't know if you can, yeah, more or less see. All right, let's push this. And I think because this stuff is so visual, I guess I'm more inclined to put it in experimental and play with it and then move it back in, as opposed to my normal style is just leaning on TDD very heavily, but I just have not found it a good fit for this where we're just doing so much system level manipulation of the camera and stuff like that. I don't feel like I'd get any more confidence knowing that, I mean, all I'm doing is taking the image and displaying it, you know, so it's not any fancy transformation. Okay, and then let's see, that was on content view. We got this active tab. We don't need that. Okay. All right, if camera, we're not camera, so okay, if we're playing with the camera, we'd have to do some more experimental stuff. All right, let's take this one out and this. Okay, so yeah, yeah, it's definitely hard. So I think the core is we need to make sure we have this as a separate thing, which maybe we do already. Yeah, maybe that's okay. So in the original, they would have had body, text, whatever there, and then all this other stuff. We kind of have that now. So theoretically, we should be able to make our body be, well, I don't know why this is. All right, yeah, let's imitate this. So we're going to make an image. The rendered image, we'll start off with a photo. That's probably fine. It should only be there briefly. And then it's render that knows everything. Okay, so we're going to put the rendered image there. Whoops. Rendered image. Okay. And then I guess we'll put that, well, let's put it in a VStack and we can do that on change. Okay, so on change of, I guess it's, oh, well, that's interesting. This one changes on text because that's what drives the contents. That's really, we really care about, oops, I keep looking at this one. We care about the rotation in the image. Well, let's just deal with the image first, and then we can go back. We'll have to do the other one as well. So on change of what? Wow, we don't really have one of those kicking around. All right, so they have the text. I guess I'm wondering if we have to own the image, the display image. Yeah, on tab. Well, no, I think the actual display is now going to be the image of our rotated image. So it goes from being, well, it was kind of a fancy image. Now it's a new image that was built from that. So we got that two-step kind of thing. Well, I guess we could just get something on there, right? So let's take this. Okay, so we got a renderer. This thing is going to render our original kaleidoscope too. Render view. Okay, this is photo kaleidoscope 2. VStack is number one change of. That seems wrong. Okay. Display scale was an environment variable. We can just pick that up. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then we're going to create this image in rendered image. Okay. Let's take out the, I don't know what we're monitoring. I really think we're going to have to pass that in. Ugh. Okay. I don't know. Could be worse. And then this one is on a pier. And we have to call render. Okay, let's see if we got that right. Okay, so on change, we're not monitoring. Rendered image, we will show. I think all we're going to get is the photo image and not the stuff we want. It's tricky. We may need to kind of reassemble things a little. It's interesting to me that this is so hard at this point, though. It's kind of odd. Okay. Can we get something showing anything? That would be progress. All right. So theoretically, we will have a photo image being shown on a pier. It will call Kaleidoscope 2, make an image out of it, adjust the scale. I guess that's nice, but okay. And then let the UIImage equal render image. So we'll fetch an image and then turn this back into an image. Okay. Now, what does that do? Now, maybe this is not what we need to do for interaction purposes, but let's run it and see. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. On tap or touch. Yeah, we want to trigger the photo saving on tap. And maybe we just render our own version of that. I don't know. Okay, so experiment tab. No image selection. Select, oops, experiment tab. Well, he doesn't have that stuff. Okay, where is... Yeah, Photo Kaleidoscope 2 is everything. So I think that's the wrong thing to do. I think this is probably what we want. Okay, so this... Okay, let's make a new image over here. Collide experiment. Excuse me. Okay, so this one, it needs some fields. I think he needs those passed in, to be honest. Angle and source image. Okay, so these are bindings. Okay. Cannot find geometry and scope. And well, I don't really need the geometry for this one. Let's experiment. Let's see, is this working yet? Okay, we're going to take this out. Okay. And we need geometry. I don't know if we can put it in directly. Let's try. Self-dot mirrors, I think we just hard-coded those, yeah. They probably should be passed in, but okay. All right, well, we're back to compiling. Grab the JPEG from the buffer when tapping the kaleidoscope. Yeah, that I think you're right. I think that's what we need to do is mostly display the right thing, but then we can re-render it with a tap to collect the JPEG, I think. All right, so I think this little thing. All right. Before we go on, let me rework that photo kaleidoscope. Okay, because I think geometry is only needed for this. So let's move this down. Where's his tail? That's bottom. Okay. So end of this, we're going to put this and then move this line down. Okay. So you're tapping on this thing and then we can render. Okay. I think that's okay. But I think we can we don't really need the rendered image here, I don't think. Okay, I think we want to do collide view, collide experiment. Here, angle. Okay, drop this. Okay, and then we're going to put some state up here. Okay. Angle is $angle. This is $image. Source image. All right. And then in here, they need to be states. Okay. So that should be in our electronics. Okay. All right. Now we should get an image. Well, we don't have a way to get the image, so let's add that selector down here. And I think we want that in the VStack. Okay, I'm hoping this will show something. An image that will not rotate because we don't capture the angle anywhere. All right, here's our experiment. Am I tapping wrong? Nothing is... Oh, it blew up. Okay. In experiment, okay. I guess this is if source image not equal nil, like we did in the other. Hate burying it in more and more stuff. Okay. I guess it blew up while it was initializing the screen. Oh yeah, that's the reason I didn't. That's why I was working on the photos first. Sorry. All right. Well, we'll get experiment tab, has select a photo. That part works. And then, okay. So that's showing the real one. The thing we have on the pad though, we don't have we took out the mechanism to manually. Oh no, I guess it's by default there. Never mind. All right. Cool. Let's change this before I run it again. Okay. All right. So I think we're kind of back to zero. We're showing the collide experiment with some angle and image. Okay. Which is what we're going to do eventually. Collide experiment knows it knows what to do with the angle. Okay, something's weird. Why is this? I'm not sure why it's rotating when I do anything. Angle is here. It should just be degree 0. We never change it. Am I on the? Huh. I'm a little puzzled. Geometry size. Right, but there should be, oh, angle coming in. Because the raw yaw stuff is that. Oh, that's in rotated view. We have rotated view. Okay, okay. I'll get there. All right, so we have that thing. All right, now I think, let's call this, let's say on tap, let's call capture. And then capture is going to be this method. And with capture, we're going to want to pass in the angle and the source image. Okay. Render. No, scrolling is not scrolling. All right, source, that's really annoying. Okay, so let's get angle here. Source image of image, I think. Wow, what is going on? Okay, Xcode. Xcode not responding. Nope. Wow. Okay. Put it where I'm used to seeing it. Okay, scrolling works again. That's a good sign. All right. So when they capture. Oh, it lost all that. Okay. Interesting. Angle and source image. Okay, so we're going to make this capture angle source image of image question mark. Okay. And then render goes away. And on here we want on tap. We'll capture with angle and source image. Okay. Photo Kaleidoscope 2. I think I want to do Collide Experiment. With angle. He's not a binding. I guess he's got to be a binding. Okay, so if you render the content with that stuff, you set the scale, and then we get a UIImage. What type are you? UIImage. Okay, well that's the thing that has ping data and JPEG data. Surely it knows something about it too. Well, we could render it, I guess. That would be something. All right, rendered image. Okay, let's put rendered image in there. These need to be the $sign. Okay. Rendered image. Let's put rendered image with frame 150, 150. I don't know if I have to say width 9th. Yep. Okay. Maybe 75. Just make sure it's really quite small. Okay. So we'll show the image. We will change it when you press capture. That seems like a good step. All right. So render it here. Set the scale and capture it in rendered image. Okay. For now. Alrighty. Whoops. Okay, so now we have no image. We'll take one from our library. I will rotate that and tap. Oh, boom. Oh, it's showing something. Okay, that's very small. Suspiciously small and suspiciously not very blue, but I don't know what cache I'm invalidating. F open. Okay, where's my view? Maybe 150 would be. I don't know how the screen width is. Maybe 300. Should run a little faster this time. Experiment. All right, if I tap, that should change. Okay, it's very small. I don't think that's any 300 pixels. Maybe resizable? Maybe I should take the frame off and just let it be what it wants to be. Okay, that sounds like 300. Okay, well, it's fuzzy. I don't know why it's fuzzy. And I don't know why it cut off the edge. We did set the scale, so that seems like it should be kind of good. And then let's rotate and take a different picture. Huh. Okay, let's select a photo. So why can I rotate now, tap, and I can't rotate anymore? Yeah, I don't know what that scale is. I'm gonna print that out. But this chopping off, I don't know, it makes it seem like it just picked up part of it. I don't know, maybe it's artifacts, but it looks a little too crisp on the side there. Let me just take that frame off. Maybe take the resizable off. Just put it there by itself and see what it comes up with. All right, so we'll get the scale factor out of this, whatever that is. Okay, we'll select a photo. All right, and I haven't done anything. I'll rotate. I will tap. Scale factor 3, and that thing is just, okay, well, its natural size is super tiny. So that's why resizable, it stretched it out. I think the scale is usually 1, 2, or 3. Let's see if we can find that variable. It's display scale, I think. Yeah. Telling you whether you have 1x, 2x, or 3x images. It's a float. I love the documentation for this stuff. It's like but I'm pretty sure it's 1x, 2x, or 3x. So yeah, it's like if you're high density, you get 3 and so on. So it's like kind of a factor of or scale, exponent factor almost. Golly. Well, so I guess what that tells me is this thing is either coming in very small here. Yeah, I think this thing must be coming in at that tiny size. And maybe the cutoff is there but magnified. Normally I put a little white space around the edge. Okay. So I don't know. Can I put this in a frame? Let's see if we can get the original object scaled up to full size before we take the snapshot. Um, it still doesn't explain why my rotation stops working. Although that could be some weird artifact of something. Okay, that's nice. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think if you don't set a scale, I think it defaulted to 1. Um, where was that? It might have been in the hacking article. Might have said that. Yeah, if you don't specify, you'll be rendered at 1x, and it'll look fuzzy on the better screens. Must do it on the main actor. Okay. Put the Swift UI view. You want better. Okay. Unlike the older one, there's no read to read it from there. Okay. Ugh. Come on, Apple. Has so many frameworks for this stuff. All right. Well, I think this is progress. That looks pretty reasonable to me as far as being a smaller version of what we have up here. I don't think it's any fuzzier. All right, I don't know what the size I have on the geometry is either, but I could probably get the size, right? I don't know if that helps any, but and actually, I don't know if I want to just hard code it. Well, okay, so that part of the experiment is fine. What's going on with this? Why are you no longer rotating? I don't know if that's a real thing. Okay, I'm going to try it on the tablet again, in hopes that it's some artifact of this thing getting confused about its gestures or something like that. Does that really? Yeah, it does. Okay. All right. Yeah, it wasn't quite unlocked. Okay, now I don't know. I don't like the fact that my testing environment doesn't work. All right, so that rotation works. I'll select a photo, and rotation still works. I'm getting some flicker. Maybe. Yeah, I can't tell if it's just. It may be. No, something's weird. I saw something weird yesterday too. So it was on this stuff. I don't know if you can. If I hold it still, you can see a little bit of flickery, flashy. That's definitely visible to me. And it looks like the initial face picture. Let me try that picture again. I don't know which picture I used. Huh. I'll use this one. Yeah, so it's flickering. It's almost like it's going back to the original picture. I can't. Oh, it's not done. Well, Yeah, it's like I get a reset in there somewhere. Huh. Yeah. The one we capture is static. Ugh. So on the bottom, as I rotate, it's still staying that brown. If I tap, well, let's get it's changed when I tap. So the tapping still works. The flicker, I can't. Yeah, I feel like maybe it's somehow setting the angle back to 0 and then quickly jumping back to whatever it should be, or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. I, I I don't know how to. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna try this on the photo tab. Select a photo. Let's take my flowers. Okay, they're pretty good. There's a little flicker, but I think it's just me not being able to sit still, perfectly still. But at some point, now we didn't do any camera stuff, so theoretically it shouldn't be related to that. There's that jump I talked about. Boop. Yeah, we're right at the line from one to the other, so we do want to fix that, but no, it's not doing it now. Okay, let's go back to experiment. He's still flickering away. Oh, I don't know. All right, so, oh gosh, I don't know how to debug that, but I think our experiment is somewhat successful. I think that flicker is, I don't know. I don't think we're causing the flicker with this, I guess I should say, but we're taking the image, we're using this angle. Now wait a minute, something's funny. Yeah, where's that angle coming from, right? There's nothing that changes it. Oh, this does. Okay, it's got a binding. Rotated view does that. Wait, where's... Yeah, rotated view must edit the angle. Right? Oh. Angle.wrap value. Okay, so this view does change the angle. Who's changing it back? Is that what's going on? I'd like to. Okay, I'm going to call the experiment is doing what I expect it to do, so I'm okay with that. So, experiment to capture image, and in our code, we can. Let's see. We have this UIImage. We know we can say UIImage image.jpg. Oh, is it? Image.jpg data. Okay. So we can in fact get the rendered image into raw JPEG and do something with it, or ping. But I think that's okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm somehow rotating both. I'm rendering both those views, and I definitely saw something like that at one point yesterday, and didn't quite pursue it. But I saw something flickery on that first photo screen, so I know we've hit that before. Yeah, I think there might be a little there. It's kind of bouncing around, and it's there. I mean, I'm definitely getting flicker um, beyond. I mean, it's hard to know because the rotation, any little jitter in my hand is going to cause some amount of that. But I definitely feel like there's two shapes bouncing back and forth. Uh, um, Alrighty. But I think this experiment is successful that if you had an angle. I mean, that angle is going to be subject to rotation because well, I guess if I had the tablet up and I tap, um, I could rotate it between the time the tap registered and the photo got taken. There could be a little bit of time there, but I don't think that's doing it. Let's see. Collide experiment. I want to just print something. And yet, okay, I've got it just laying on my desk, sitting flat, not moving, and it's not flickering. But man, when I just hold it, it really does. It's very noticeable. It's like it's rendering one copy small. Oops. Like it appears to be a smaller scale or something. I don't know. There's always something. Yeah. Well, I'm not too worried. Um, I mean, I'm capturing the binding to it. Yeah, we could. Let's do that. So let's make this an angle. Well, then we have to bind it to call collide experiment. Ugh. No, I don't think that's going to help. Because this thing requires a binding. So I think we can't really do it that way. I mean, we could create an extra state, and I don't resisting doing that. Because I don't think it's too much, right? It's from when you tap till it executes 2 lines of code or something, right? So it comes into this capture. It's going to catch whatever the angle is at the, however long it took it to get from the tap code to the, one function call in to capture that angle. I don't think that's going to be it. Well, maybe we'll consider that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see, that's on here. Private. The captured angle of type angle equals degrees 0. Okay, so we'll start off with 0. In the capture angle, let's do that. Take off the binding. And I'm not as worried about the source image because that's a very user gesture level thing. Let captured angle, captured angle equals angle. And now this can have the binding to captured angle. But does that... Is that going to work? I don't think it is actually, because Collide Experiment has the rotated view that updates the angle whenever it wants to. I don't think that's going to do it. Huh. Now, maybe... I mean, we could try and render it with just the collide view. No, I think he needs the angle too. Let me go in here again. I think this just feeds the angle in, right? Unchanged angle.route value. Right, so you show it, we capture a rotation, we set the rapid value. Angle.route value. And we got the binding to angle. State. But we're not passing the angle to the content. Rotated view. Collide view. Angle should be on the capture in the tap gesture. Okay. He doesn't know the angle. Well, that seems weird to me, but mirrored angle is rotation effect. Where's that coming from? Mirrored rotation angle. Oh, that's rotating the pieces. How weird. Angle should be captured in the tap gesture. Okay. Well, I think that's kind of what he's doing here. All right, because he's not passing the binding and he's passing the actual angle and capturing it down here. I mean, I can... Yeah, there's no real difference, I guess. I can move this up if it makes more sense. But I don't think it's going to matter because collide view. Well, I don't know. That's the problem with going away for a few weeks. It doesn't take long for it to slip out the back. Okay. Right. Back to the tablet. All right, so we'll select a photo. I mean, that seems stable. Okay, I'm not getting any flicker. All right, I'll tap and I get the green capture. Yeah, it's just not consistent. Like I said, I've noticed it one time before and just thought, wait, what's that? You know, and didn't know if it was just jitter, but it's not. It's clearly was showing another image flickered in and out. But this, it's not doing it now. Yeah, worse than a weird problem is one that's intermittent, huh? Okay. Tap gestures on the rotating kaleidoscope, not on the experiment. That's correct. It's, oh, I guess it's on Collide experiment, which contains the rotated and the collide view. And that's corresponding to this. Photo kaleidoscope does the same thing. It manages this rotated geometry reader thing and does an on-tap gesture there. That's the fake one we did, but I put it on the innermost view that had this circle, you know, the reflected kaleidoscope image. Okay. I wonder if that's something. Okay. I'm not sure how to take that. If it's such an intermittent thing. Okay, let me go back to photo. I don't know if they have an interaction between them. Okay, I'll take a different one. I mean, that looks stable. And it's stable enough even, whoops. Even, oh, that's camera. Huh, okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. It's flickering now. So I bumped the camera tab and went back, and it's got that flicker. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah, I think you can see the pulsing of it. And it looks like it's showing something with a big yellow circle and flickering back and forth to whatever it wants to see. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that definitely occurred again. All right, let's. Did we see it on here? Okay, I'm going to the main photo one. Whoops, I'm gonna select an image. It's fine, it's stable, no flicker, other than me moving a little. I'm gonna go to camera. Okay, which looks stable, no flicker. Back to photos, and I got flicker. And it definitely has the. It's not steady, but once in a while it just pops in like another image. Okay, so all right, let's cut out the camera view. Yeah, I really don't want to fight this thing. All right, do that. Gonna run it again. So if the camera has something to do with it, then this time this thing should not happen if I switch between tabs, I guess, is all I can do. All right, so I've got photo and experiment. Select a photo. I'll take my winter scene. All right, it rotates, it's fine. Experiment, select a photo, I'll take a different one, the flowers, the vase. Okay, again, that's fine. Oh, hey, I got flicker. Like, I don't know if you can see, there's like a yellow thing that keeps appearing in the middle. Okay, well, that's really good news because the camera's complicated enough. I don't want to deal with that. Now, it appears to be flickering from something from the same image. I don't think I'm getting any crosstalk between the two images there. Let's reformat that a little. Okay. But I don't know where that would come from. I guess the only thing I can think of is it's something that defaults to 0, and the SwiftUI view system, right? It says everything's a struct, meaning it's a value object. It won't change once it's set. And if I ever want to throw a view away, I can throw it away and just create another one because it's a struct. It's going to have the same value regardless. But I don't know if, let's see, where's, right, if this thing, I mean, this hard coded to 0, could it be doing that? And I don't know if trying to find the source of that yellow, and it's changing. I don't know if I can. It's like it's a close neighbor, but not. I don't know the picture well enough to know where that is. I just can't tell. Okay. State collision between the different collide views. Well, that's another possibility, isn't it? Yeah, right. That could be something like that could be going on, right? If this one sets its angle based on the yaw, it becomes 50 degrees. This one was still sitting at 40. Does it, is one going 40, 41, well, this one goes 50, 51, and we're somehow mixing them up? Huh. Wow, that flickering is really annoying in the corner of my eye. Yeah, I mean, that's a theory. What's weird to me is this is state on photokaleidoscope, and the other one has its own state as well. Experiment view. Right, this one has, well, it has its own angle. Where's it getting the state? It's getting the state here. And then rotated view can change it. But again, this is, it's its own top level value is on the tab, experiment tab, not part of the other. Yeah, so I mean, theoretically the struct doesn't, but the state variables on it, right, are managed outside. I mean, that's kind of the SwiftUI magic, is at state says create a variable out there somewhere else that corresponds to this struct, and it matches, like it knows the path of the structs in there to know which value to get for angle. I mean, it's a lot of mechanism. So the struct itself is private. If you had data that wasn't marked with state or environment or observed object or whatever, it's totally local state, and it gets thrown away. So if you, let's see, we had the mirrors, if you changed this to a var and changed it to 15, it might change for a moment, but if it ever threw that view away, it would go back to 10, you know, because you initialized it to 10. Now, what I can't get... Well, let's monitor angle. Isn't that valid? Value of 10. Okay, so I'm going to get a continuous stream of angles, and I guess I want to see if anything goes funny. We didn't use these in our spikes. I'll take them out. Okay, so I don't know. It seemed to be something about going between the tabs that messed it up. Okay, we'll take the photo, flowers, go to experiment tab, select something besides the flowers. I'll take this one, it's definitely visual. All right. If I go back here, it's flickering. If I go back here, it's flickering. Okay, let me stop that. Right? I mean, this is demonstrating it. Okay, so the angles are staying pretty close here. 25, 30, 31, 18, 16, 13, 6. Yeah, maybe I'm rotating a bit fast there to do that. 76, then 54, 38, 22. I saw something very suspicious. Let's see. Who else towards the end? But maybe when I switch tabs. Yeah. There we go. 92, 82, 95, 85, 98, 100, 102, 92, 103, 93, 104, 94, 104, 94, 104, 94. So something's by 10 degrees. Huh. Okay, I don't know where that leaves us. I don't know what it means. I mean, is it possible... Could it be some sort of hardware problem? Maybe. I don't know. I was sure it was going to be bouncing back to 0 if, you know, if that theory about the structs was right. Then it threw away a struct and picked up a 0 somewhere, but that's not what's happening. It's clearly 10 degrees away and pretty steady at that. So that's the flicker. Now, why... Now that's in rotated, right? Is the one that's doing that. Unchanged. Right, so we have a rotation gesture. When that happens, we capture the value. But is that right? Rotation. Where's the gesture installed? That's motion update handler. That seems... Wait a minute. I don't think we're doing a rotation gesture. Maybe this is old. Yeah, because I think that was it. We had the manual rotation. Yeah, even when lying flat, it was flip-flopping. So, yeah, but I'm wondering if this, I don't know, rotation gesture. I mean, we definitely support that rotation gesture instead of physical rotation, because It makes it easier for testing, even though I don't want the real app to do that, need that. Okay. This should still basically work. All right, I ran it again. Camera experiment. Oh, I put that back. Okay, yeah. I'll take an image. Actually, yeah, I'll take the winner image. It's pretty steady. I mean, a little bit of vibration from my hand, but not flickery. Go to experiment, select a photo, take the flowers, and they're pretty good. I mean, that's all looking pretty good. Now I'll go back. Well, I can't tell. There's a little flicker, but this one, oh yeah, there it is. It's apparently nothing to do that. Yeah. Okay, so if they're 50 degrees apart, well, give or take. All right, and so it's nothing to do with that. Wow. Okay, we'll stop. Well, that gesture is helpful, but and that's what let us test on here, right? So now, well, I'm not running the current one. Select an image. Right, so this is the rotate gesture because I don't have the physical rotation. The simulator won't do it. And if I run this on there, I've taken that away, which it's kind of helpful. I guess on the simulator, the yaw is never going to change. So this never really does anything, I don't think. Okay. Run again. Yeah, can we stop the handlers? I mean, there are, right? Because we've got 2 motion handlers. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's probably what it is. And maybe this should not even be on the individual thing. Right, so select a photo, do this, right? But now I've disabled gestures, so that won't do. Okay, I think you're right. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Okay, content angle, yeah. All right, let me run that on the pad. Yeah, we won't have the flickering because we don't get any motion updates because it doesn't do rotations. So, and that explains why it's the 2 tabs that do it. So, if I start with this one, select a photo, flowers, go to this one, I don't think it's even done it yet. Maybe. It's bouncing a little. That could just be me, but I think selecting a photo definitely sets up a handler. And then when we're back here, yeah, it's definitely a flicker again. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's focus on that. Yeah, 1 rotation handler on the screen. It doesn't seem to be deterministic how much it's doing, but that's okay. I guess it's a function of each one thinks it should call update handler, but they're 2 different functions because they're 2 different views. All right, let's take a break first. But I think that gives us a clear path, is to say this thing, motion handler, should only be at the global level, and that means our angle should be passed in all the way down as well. So we'll do that. All right, so 3 or 4 minutes and tackle it again. All right. Welcome back. All right, so let's push what we have. We removed the simulated rotation gesture. Although it's real ones could do it too, but it's really the simulator that makes the deal. Okay. And we want to get this rotated view. Well, he's pretty minimal. He really says, give me an angle. Well, set me up with a binding to an angle and I will update it. And I'll have my own motion manager, whatever I'm displaying, I don't care. Content on appear. I guess that's the first time. All right, so our theory is, yeah, maybe depending what the rotation was when we switched tabs. Yeah, I think that may be correct. So sometimes it's relatively small. Other times I may have moved enough between them that it really made a gap. But I think that 10 degrees, I didn't have the sense it was going, at first I thought it was going back to the original image, but it seems like no, it really was something a little bit of ways. Okay. And we're going to try moving this to the content view. So content view is going to have to own the angle. Rotated view. And interestingly, the angle is passed in separately to them. Okay, so experiment view. Well, here's an angle. All right, content view, the active tab, the camera, and the angle. And then we're going to put rotated view around the main body. It will start adjusting the angle. Okay. Oops. Just put this over here. Content. Okay. And before we get into it, let's, okay. So I think what we can say we did so far is a spike. Spike, capture a snapshot of an image to a UIImage. Okay, and we did that. All right, we also removed simulator gesture rotation. Okay, and that was interesting. This was a goal. Okay, so that's duplicating the spike. All right, and now we're going to make rotated view a top level view to avoid tabs with different rotations interfering with each other. Okay, good. I don't know what that shows up for you as. Okay. And doing that, content view. All right, we're going to put rotation view around that. Rotated view. Angle, dollar angle. Content is this. Which I guess extends to that. That tab stuff's really inside. Okay. And then we want to remove this from photo kaleidoscope. He still needs the angle. Oh, he doesn't own the angle now. So photo kaleidoscope has to take a binding to the angle. I guess I tend to put the states before the bindings. I don't know, that's kind of backwards, isn't it? Binding's more of a parameter. Okay. And I want to take this out. Does that seem right? Okay, so the rotated view is gone from here. The angle is still passing in. We don't pass it currently, so somebody should be complaining here. Should be dollar angle for the binding. Okay. So I think if I were to run, I think that's going to say this can't happen on the first tab because it's getting the global one. Oh no, it still could happen. I'll have to get the rest out. Camera kaleidoscope. He doesn't need it. Okay. And then experiment view. Well, let's make this a binding. I guess we'll go all the way here. All right, so that's a binding coming in. I don't think it affects that. Okay. Preview. Okay, we don't need it for previews. All right. And then content view needs to pass it. Okay, am I caught up? Does angle need to be published? Well, I don't think so, in the sense that it's a state at the top level, and then we're pushing it in. We're letting the rotated view adjust it for everybody. I mean, this really probably doesn't need the binding. Even, right? It probably just needs the value. Because he can't change the binding. Does he use the angle? Wait a minute. Maybe this is a leftover. Oh no, there it is. Okay. He reads it. Yeah. But he never writes it. Okay, so I think it will work like this. It just is writable when it doesn't need to be. Let's see, does it work? That's probably the key question. If it does, we can play with removing that binding aspect. Okay, so I've got laying down. This is the global feed telling us the rotation, right? We put a print in here. Oh no, it's our experiment that's still reporting it. As the angle changes, it's reporting it. Okay, let's do our thing. Take an image. Flowers. Experiment. Take an image. Grid. Oh no. It's still bouncing. It's flickering. I don't know if I can. Oh. What the heck? Okay. Let's stop. Okay, let's see who's got... Oh, we got a rotated view here. Okay. Flowers, no problem. Photo. Go back to this one. Okay. And then go back. Yeah, and back. Okay, yeah, your global idea is definitely solving that. Oh, thank goodness. Whew. All right, yeah, that's nice and obscure. All right, so what else here? Okay, that's not critical. So I think what this revealed to me is photokaleidoscope does not need binding to angle. And this is this thing about being a read-only thing, that we can create a new photokaleidoscope with a new angle because it's just a value object. Photokaleidoscope, an angle is no longer a binding. It's just a variable to be filled in. Okay, so this should work. It does use it because it's using the angle to get those picture images. All right, I'll let this one be the grid. This one be flowers. Okay, and yeah, no flicker, go back, no flicker, go back, no flicker. All right, nice. Okay, so we remove, I guess we made rotated view apply once to the whole app view as tabs were interfering with each other when they each had one. Okay, and that sort of makes sense in the sense that there's one CM motion manager, and you know, we didn't shut it off between tabs if that's feasible, but yeah. All right, so now okay, we don't need photokaleidoscope 2, I guess, at all. We're not even using it now in the spike. Move that to trash. So just cleaning up a little bit here. Experiment view is in the same boat. It references this. I mean, it's kind of doing the same thing, but it doesn't have a need for a binding. We can just create a new one when we change the angle at the upper level. And it's not got a lot of variables or anything, so it's not super expensive to create it, right? It really has one variable. This one gets managed outside. These are constants. Okay, so that it's very lightweight is not an issue for us. Angle change. Yep. Okay, and this binding. Oh, experiment view. Right. So somebody should complain. Here we go. Yeah, collide experiment doesn't need that, and captured angle also doesn't need to be that. And that actually simplifies this, right? There's no need for captured angle when angle is already just a read-only value. Should have been angle anyway. All right, and then I think there's one more. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so experiment view calls collide experiment with angle, And then the capture calls it with angle. And then the content view should call it with no dollars. All right, let's run. Angle has no member constant. Oh, he's no longer a binding. All right, photo, select a photo. Take them on the ship. Okay, this one, select a photo. Slide. All right, and back and forth. No flicker. Ooh, good. Nice. All right. So I guess just reflecting a little bit, right? So it took a while to notice the flicker. It means I saw it yesterday was a real thing I saw and not some sort of artifact of a jittery hand, you know, but I didn't pursue it. So there was a missed opportunity there. And then today working on it, like one theory I had was, oh, for some reason we got something that's resetting it to 0, and so we were seeing the original picture and then the current value reflected. All right. And then we talked about maybe putting it on separate tabs and tracking in and out when it was done. And then finally we said, well, let's just put it up at the top level. And let's just track it there, which I think is the right decision for this app, because really is it? I don't know. It's probably capturing it anyway. We're just sticking it in a variable, so I don't think the overhead is too high. If it's the camera, you don't want it, or you don't need it, because we don't do rotation that way. Let's see, what else? I think you left a captured variable in there. Let's see. Yeah, good catch. All right, good. Okay. Yeah, and I think it was an important thing to notice that it wasn't the first time you're on a tab. It was when you switch tabs that something triggered it, and it wasn't directly the switching. It was the consequence of having two Motion Manager listeners running on two separate. They both start on whatever they happen to start on, which mostly is going to be kind of similar because I'm probably holding the thing upright. But I think because, when I'm trying to hold it on my shoulder so you guys can see it, then the angle probably got further away than if I were just really using it, I would probably have it in the same position and not see much gap there. But it definitely showed up as flicker. Okay, so let's stop that. Somewhere there's a print. Angle degrees. Okay. That was debugging. Okay. Everything else looking okay. And let's look at content view. Now the thing it's a little unfortunate, like this becomes a bit of cruft around that. I don't know if I'm diligent enough to extract this tab. I don't think it's horrible. 3 levels deep, basically. But yeah, it's kind of too bad. I guess at some level, rotated view, I don't know. He's not. He doesn't do anything with the angle except capture it. He does start these. I guess in principle, this code is what counts to start it, and this code is the capture. Could be done up at the experiment view without a separate view, but I don't think that's, I'm sorry, at the content view. I don't think that's necessarily any better. I think wrapping it does help. Okay, let's push this. Minor cleanup. I'll let that live like that for a bit. Apple, you know, you're making this 4 clicks now instead of 1.5. Okay. Gosh. Let's see. We got the camera tab. All right. Where are we? Okay, make rotated view a top level view to avoid rotations interfering. Yes. Okay. Now, so I think we're back to the photo view. All right, so we're just saying tap, and that's okay. Does it have to wrap the content? Well, I think because it has these two components, like that's not a, oh, what do they call those things? That you can define your own I don't know, qualifiers or whatever. I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, I think there's just too many pieces. Like you have to have this thing. You have to have this. You've got to have these three attached to the content, whether it's here or at the call site. And then you have to have this method hanging out there to do the actual updates. So I don't know. I think it's what it needs to be. Well, maybe not. I'd be okay to do an experiment. So we'll push off the tapping for a bit. I mean, I think we could say it's, well, what does it make sense to be a view, right? It's got to be, well, it kind of does, because we don't want to start this thing until it appears. Is that right? Okay, so what I was thinking was, what if you just made this capture rotation, you know, as its own view-like object with no space involved, nothing. It I don't know, it feels a little weird. But maybe not. Okay, well, okay, what would have to happen? This code doesn't rely on the view, right? So I think on appear was just more of a helpful place for it. Let's try it. Let's move this to a init and give it the motion handler here. Okay, so init on this is empty. And we'll give it the function. Okay, I want an import. Oh, it needs state. Is this right? I think you need to do underscore angle to get to the field, the underlying field, and then it's not wrapped value. No. Is that right? Okay. Okay, and then the CM motion stuff. And you'll need that. Okay. Created on appear on the main view. I don't even think we need on appear, right? We can, as soon as we start building the view, we can, I mean, the device is already alive, so there's no view related stuff in here. Yeah, it doesn't need a view or an initializer. Well, I think, yeah, we'll put on the initializer for now. The thing is, I don't get to abstract it in some sense, right? I mean, but maybe the view is not the right place for it. All right, if this works, we'll try and extract it. We don't care about rotated view. It's really the angle that's counting. Okay. And so the binding for the state for the angle is here. It gets updated by the motion handler. We're going to make this, well, I'll just make it group and then comment this line out. Okay. Angle the same as the state angle. Yes, it's because it's a binding, because it's a state, the underscore angle gets to the value because it's got some sort of binding wrap thing on it when it declares the variable. Now, usually, I don't think we can just say angle. We'll try it. Angle. I think if I change the angle, it says, "Oh, you're not." Well, maybe not. I thought it was going to complain, like, "Oh, you're changing a struct, and you can't do that." Yeah. All right. Well, that's certainly nicer if it works. Okay. So what I'd like to do is let this hold a rotating something, you know. All right, let's see what happens. Oops. Motion manager. Wow, why is that nil? Optional value. Well, that seems weird. No, wrapping an optional value. Seeing as we just literally said it a second ago. I imagine going slowly will make it work. Step over. Motion manager should have something. It's nil. Maybe it doesn't exist until the view is ready. Ooh. Create only one CM motion manager in your app. Okay. Sorry. Calls a start method that takes an operation queue. A block handler. Okay. This is going to blow up. Yeah. Wow. I don't see the constructor. Create only one. Okay, well, it's I wonder if I'm messing it up. I don't see how that should matter. We're running on the iPad. Oh, yeah. Welcome to. Yeah, I mean, there's always these trade-offs, right? It's JavaScript is pretty broadly out there, but if you want, like we're doing stuff with the motion handler, I don't think they've got that in JavaScript yet. Maybe they do by now, but we are accessing low-level stuff, the camera, the device rotation and stuff like that. As far as I know, we have to go through JavaScript for that, but they have added more and more stuff to get front end. I would say I play one on TV. I'm doing projects that I want to do. I'm not doing commercial projects, so yeah. And it's always hard to know like what's the right one, what's going to be out there in 5 years, and what's going to matter in 10 years. Don't know. You'll most likely end up picking up a bit of both along the way, is my guess. There's not one final language. All right. Okay, so we're breaking, and we step over, and the motion manager is still nothing. Okay, so I'm going to try and put this, I'll put the self back. I don't really have hopes for that. Let's put this on up here. If it's got to be on up here, I don't know. Seems like we're not gaining much. On up here, set up this with the motion handler. Let's take this stuff out of init. Because maybe it is not available before the view is available. I wouldn't think that would be true because device rotation, but it's running now, so shows you what I know. Okay, so they are both picking up the angles. We can pull it up, but I don't know. It feels like it's mucking it up. Yeah, it varies. Yeah, I remember taking out a piece of paper a few months back and just writing down like what's every language you've used, either professionally or not, and it's a long list. I mean, you know, a little older, but still, you end up touching so many different languages over time, and you know, it's they have a cycle. It takes them a few years to become active, you know, but there definitely are a bunch out there. I like programming in Swift. It's a bit, well, I don't consider it as complex as C++, but it's got a fair bit of stuff in it. And some of it gives you some nice advantage. I mean, I think the Swift UI stuff has been pretty darn good, but some of it just adds a lot of weight and consideration. Like we were talking about underscore angle versus angle and stuff like that. You know, it's really hard to know what's all the pieces of everything that you might need to know. Okay, so I'm going to take this, put it back, and leave it with this because it appears that it does matter, that it acts on a peer. Okay, I think I'm back to where we started. Yeah. And I mean, I used to sometimes take on languages just to study, just to learn them enough to do something and get a sense of them. You know, they teach you different things with what they emphasize and so on. And they used to say you can write Fortran in any language, you know, and that's kind of the case for anything. You know, you have to get into it for a while to get the style and idioms that are particular to that language, which I'm still working on for Swift for sure. But you know, it's worth learning various ones. Okay, so select a photo. Go to the address. Oops. Select a photo. Okay, and then oh, I guess I have one in photos. I selected the same photo, didn't I? Huh. Okay, here we go. And we have a tap working. Okay, this way. All right, so something's working. All right. So we tried spike to eliminate rotated view, but I'm going to take to do out of this, I think. Staged. Yeah, I can reconstruct that. But it appeared to need to wait on view appearing. Okay, so let's do this. Commit. Push and push. All right, so tap to take picture. Yeah, that's true. Make rotated view, top level view. Okay. Oh, where were we? Yeah. I'm going back and forth on the next project after this one. One part of me wants to develop a fourth interpreter in assembler just to kind of get in hands on an assembler. The other project I'm thinking of is the sort tables program I worked on a couple years ago. I'd like to see if the newer Swift UI features, the grids and tables, are complicated enough to deal with what I have there. That one actually has some utility to me, but yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. It depends. I've got other stuff going on, so it's hard to know which project in the holidays are coming up, so it gets a little tangled. All right. Tap to take a picture. We're close to knowing how to do that. We haven't done it yet. All right, but we know what you have to do is you have to have an image renderer take a picture of the thing you want to take a picture of. And then we can pull the image data out of it. Oh dear. And I don't see a way to test it without trying it. What would be, well, it's not so bad, maybe. I mean, you have to image render something. So we're image rendering the collide. I'd like to find a way to make this work for both camera and photo kaleidoscope. Okay. So part of it is you have to have this piece. Well, actually this piece. Pulled out. Now, camera view model. Let's see what that has. I mean, it sets up stuff. We don't really do view with it. I guess our view is on content view. Camera kaleidoscope. Okay, so this one, well, we've done the same thing. We put the view, I mean, really this geometry reader is irrelevant to this one, so let's move it inside. And that. Okay, I've done something wrong. I guess I didn't need to close, I didn't add one, I just moved it. Okay, so now we have geometry reader with collide view. Is that the same? If we can get the code the same, we can do stuff with it. Okay, so where's photo kaleidoscope? Well, I've done some tweaking. Oh, it has the offsets. Okay, they are different. Yeah, we need the image and the angle. Now we know them. I mean, is it so much? Well, I think we're kind of back to that hacking with Swift version. This one. I mean, we kind of want. I don't want the rendered image. I want the actual body of that thing. But maybe that's okay. Because I want the same thing with a frame. I don't even care about the geometry here. Okay, so I'm tempted to pull this out. And if I can do that, my on tap gesture can call this experimental. This part, I guess it's really that capture function, right? So on tap we do capture, but he needs a view to work with. Sorry, let's check the diffs here. Oh, let me push this. I'll just say closer to collide view to be more similar to the other use. Okay. Yes, So maybe I'm looking ahead and trying to not to duplicate code so much, but this needs, whoops, experiment. This code, where could that be? I mean, if he's given, can he be given a view? I don't know, I'd have to duplicate that. All right, let's give it content of some view. Is that going to work? We'll pull this out. Render content. We'll work on making it better. Cannot convert source image to binding. Right. All right, so I'm trying to push the view up so I can call it in either place, but let's see if that works. Okay, so it's only experiment view that has it. We'll select a photo. And then the tap should capture it. Okay, and it is. Yeah, so all right. Okay, so I don't know if this is a good experiment or a bad experiment. So what I want to do is have a method. No, I guess I want it to be a function. Interview taking an angle of type angle and a source image of binding of source image, returning some view, and pull this in there. It's like I want the same view twice. All right, well, let's take it literally twice. I don't know. I guess that's why it's an experiment. I want it there, but I want to give it a frame. And I kind of think I don't have to do it this way, right? I can. Do that. Or do I have to say content view? No. Content is we did this somewhere. At view builder. Content goes to, nothing goes to content. View builder, no colon here. Content goes, nothing goes to content. Did I need a bracket there somewhere? No, I guess view builder takes care of that. Oh, I do need it. Content of view. Okay. View builder. I can't do this on a net. Oh, I'm doing it backwards. That looks better. Have view builder content goes to content. And I gotta parens when I use it. Okay, that's a little nicer. You pass out the rendered view. Can you pre-render the view to a variable? I don't think I can put it in a variable. I mean, it would be nice, right? Well, maybe. Well, no, I gotta have the angle live. I don't think I can. Well, if this works, we can probably wrap it somehow. So it takes the interview as a thing and then puts the tap on there. And then it can call it twice, I think. That's kind of where I'm heading. I don't think I have time to really get there, but this should still work. Trying to take somewhat small steps. All right. We're on the experiment stage. Okay, and it's still doing that. It still captures. I'll get a view that's a little different. Black stripe. Okay. Yeah, so it's still capturing views and all that. So I think that's okay. The angle comes in from the outside state. Yes, that's true. We could let that flow in. The source image is our state. And that's different between the two. But I think what we have now is this is itself a view. So this is like a, well, let's see if we can do this. Struct capturing view is a view, which means it does var body of some view. All right, and then what we want it to do is kind of this. Okay, and then the init is going to do the same trick. Content of nothing goes to content. And then his type is dependent on content being of type view and view. Okay. And he needs content. Okay, we're going to save the content. Equals content. All right, I think that's kind of what we did on mirrored view, right? Okay, content of content. Save the content with parentheses. Okay. Where did experiment go? Okay, so content's a function that gives you content. We got to call it. All right, and then in here, we're going to do content And then the capture is going to take, well, I probably jumped the gun. I should have just done this of content. Okay. And content, and we'll give it the size here and not need this. Oops. Okay, content. Cannot find source image. Oh, do I need those? Well, what am I doing with those? I think I'm just passing them along, right? Yeah, I did need a different capture. Okay, func capture takes content. We don't need this stuff. I don't even think I need that. I think I need content of view. And don't need that. What's the matter? Cannot find source image, cannot find angle. Okay, that's still okay. So I just display the content. Yeah, I feel like I'm closing in here. All right, content.frame. I don't want these two. And if it's the only thing I want, I don't need the word content there. And I'll pull the display scale. Rendered image. Okay, I don't think I care about this, right? That's where I'm gonna, oh, is that not quite? Closure containing a declaration cannot be used with a result builder. Oh, sorry, I lost a couple. The angle comes from that, so it's static here. Okay. I'm feeling close, but not quite there. And maybe I'm not correct. I really want this. Oh, I missed a brace. I must have an extra somewhere. Okay, use of protocol view must be written as any view. I think it. Is that okay? Type any view cannot conform to view. Yeah, can I be some view? Okay. All right, so let's print UIImage dot ping data. We'll just print that. Okay, so I don't know, there's a lot of mechanism here, but we're saying we need a display scale. You give us some content. We'll put the content here, and then we'll capture it on tap. The same content with a fixed frame around it, which we can change the size of. And then the capture is going to call image renderer on that content, fix the scale, and then print something. All right. And we're not calling this thing capturing view. Okay. So capturing view takes a view builder, so I can use the braces with it. Okay. So that is going to become capturing view. with inner angle, inner view, and then this goes away. Okay, well, it's nicer. I mean, I don't know. I feel a little funny about putting a tap gesture on a view, but they do have them, so that's not totally crazy. Rendered image, yeah, that's just kind of the experiments version of things. Okay, so if this is working, it should build a view of this inner view stuff. So I don't even think I need inner view anymore. Yeah, let's take that out. Okay, so that's gone. All right, so it puts a view as a capturing view, and it's going to frame it into a photo size and take the photo when you tap it. And we're in experiment view, so let's run it there. That's about all we'll get done today, I think. All right, so we'll go to experiment tab, select a photo. Okay. We haven't tapped yet, so I will tap and crash, right? No? Okay, we don't change the rendered photo. But we do a print that says we captured 423,000 bytes of image data. All right, and we can also do our JPEG, which I think is probably good enough because it's all, you know, a little fuzzy anyway. Okay. 423,000 is our ping. And it's more photo-like stuff because it's coming from photos. So I really do think a JPEG is probably the better choice. Okay, we'll do the same photo and tap. 89,000. Okay, so that's a smaller picture. Good. Right, and we could store the rendered image. Okay, I think that yeah. I mean, a ping is right. It's like a GIF that's looking for color coded sequences of similar color codes and stuff like that. But in a photo, you know, you get shades of stuff all the time, and so there's no long sequences. It's not like, you know, a picture of this part of the, you know, if I took a picture like this. There's a lot of white space that's just a big chunk of white space as far as it's concerned, and you know, compressed is okay for ping. But you know, I think with a photo, it's doing all those little fancy transforms. It turned out it was faster for us the other day, partly maybe just being smaller, less data to sling around. But I don't know, JPEG compression is a little complicated. I don't know, but anyway. But I think I think we've worked our way through to a reasonable stage. I'm not sure what Capture's going to do with what it has. It would be nice to get it somewhere. Maybe it can make a variable available or something. But we've got a way to capture a view that puts it out for display and then puts a tap gesture that captures the photo image renderer version of that. So that's pretty good. And I think it'll be a good basis for next week. So we'll be back Monday, 2 to 4:30 Eastern, 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Thanks Mudshark 666, and again, welcome to Tukes 96. All right, and all the rest of you that are quiet there, and see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.